there were an explosion in St. Petersburg, and there was a second device that was defused. But from the one explosion, 11 people were killed and 40 people were injured. There was a second explosive discovered, according to New York Times. It was disarmed. It was much larger than the first device. The second device was disguised as a fire extinguisher. Law enforcement agencies initially said that they were seeking two suspects suspected of planning the devices, but there was no immediate claim of responsibility with regard to who was behind this. It's speculated that it could have been done by extremists from Chechnya or elsewhere in the Caucasus. These are still speculations. There's really nothing. We don't have anything concrete on this. However, as with every other issue, people have raced to their political agenda to describe the possibility of who this was or who it wasn't. Right. And so we see the standard divide that we always see, that immediately upon this news, you had the vilification of any Muslim. Right. And it's possible if this was connected to Chechnya and the conservative nature of the Chechens. It's possible. It could be related to Islamic extremists. It could be. But then also there's some other possibilities. The fact is, at the time of this recording, at the time of our broadcast, we don't know. But that's never stopped any political agenda from being moved forward to try to spin a tragedy in favor of their narrative. It has never stopped it, and it's something that we see on an ongoing basis. And the flip side of it is I also see not only from the conservative right trying to spin this to say there's absolutely Islamic terrorism, but then I've seen from the neoliberal left the knee-jerk reaction to say that it's definitely suspicious that this happens in the midst of this investigation into Russia collusion to give Russia what they need to be able to push back against this anti-Russian narrative, blah, 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 blah. It's difficult to even describe because it instantly goes over into this false flag notion, and it instantly devalues the reality of the lives that were lost. The only thing that we could say is that 11 people have been killed, 40 people were injured in an act of terrorism. And I say terrorism because I include any political agenda from any religious perspective or a non-religious perspective. If there was a political agenda to incite fear, it's terrorism. Even if this ends up being a white conservative from Kentucky, it's still a form of terrorism. And to spin it politically before we have the evidence from either side is both disgusting and disingenuous. But again, it should not be surprising because that's what we do instead of taking a moment to reflect on the fact that 11 people have been killed and 40 people have been injured.